There are places where the earth doesn't just rise but awakens. Where time folds like mist over mountaintops, and silence carries the weight of 1,000 prayers. This is not a journey of miles, but of moments. Not a tale of countries, but of calls, ancient ones. One echoes through the stone and spirit of the Andes. The other sings from the cold breath of the Himalayas. Two worlds. Two heights. One longing. This is Peru and Nepal, where the sky is not above you, but just within reach. 1. Machu Picchu, the city of whispers. In the high cradle of the Andes, veiled in morning mist, Machu Picchu waits, not as a monument, but as memory. Its stone terraces cling to the mountainside, whispering stories carved by sun worshippers and time. The Inca trail winds like a sacred ribbon, each step ascending not just in altitude, but in reverence. And when dawn breaks, golden light spills over the ridge, revealing a citadel seemingly suspended between clouds and earth. Llamas move silently through the ruins. Wind brushes moss-covered walls. Here, you don't just see history, you breathe it. This is not a ruin. It is a poem, written in stone, read by the soul. 2. Rainbow Mountain, the painted pulse of the Andes. At over 5,000 meters, where air thins and the sky stretches taut, a mountain bleeds color. Rainbow Mountain, Vinicunca, rises with surreal vibrancy, striped in reds, greens, golds, and blues. Formed by mineral miracles and unveiled by shifting time, it stands like nature's own canvas. The ascent is steep. The cold bites. But every step leads you deeper into the surreal. Alpacas graze near the ridge, their wool dancing in the wind, unaware they walk on Earth's masterpiece. You stand at the summit, surrounded by silence and snow, staring at something so vivid it defies logic. This isn't illusion. It's geology dreaming in full color. Three. Colca Canyon, the deep echo. Twice as deep as the Grand Canyon, yet quieter than breath, Colca is where the earth folds inward and listens. Its cliffs cradle ancient agricultural terraces, still carved with care, still worked by hand. Villages cling like secrets to the edge of eternity. But it's not the human touch that steals your breath, it's the sky. Because here, above this silent depth, the condor reigns. Wings stretched wide, gliding effortlessly through thermals older than memory. You watch from the Cruz del Condor, heart still, as it soars without flapping once. Colca doesn't boast. It doesn't roar. It reminds how deep the earth can feel when it says nothing at all. For Lake Titicaca, the mirror of the gods. Atop the world, nestled between Peru and Bolivia, lies a lake so still, it reflects more than sky, it reflects origin. Lake Titicaca, sacred to the Inca, cradles myths beneath its waters and stars upon its surface. You sail in a reed boat, past islands woven by hand, lived on by lineage. The floating uish rise like woven dreams above the deep. Children run barefoot on mats that drift with the tide. Elders tell tales of gods born from the lake's womb. And as the sun sets behind the Andes, firelight flickers across the water. And you realize you're not drifting on a lake. You're sailing across a story. 5. Wakashana Oasis, the dream in the dunes. Deep in Peru's desert heart, where dunes move like waves and sand sings in the wind. Wakashana shimmers into view. A mirage made real. Palm trees bend around a lagoon that shouldn't exist, yet does, embraced by golden giants. By day, the dunes roar with life. Sand borders race gravity. Dune buggies carve paths like comets through silence. By night, all calms. The sky opens wide. The sand cools. The lagoon mirrors starlight. You sit by the water, a fire crackling, the universe wide above and a world forgotten behind. Wakashana isn't just an oasis. It's a desert's dream, and tonight, you're inside it. 6. Orzengate Trek, into the sacred silence. This is not a trail. It's a pilgrimage. The Oregon Gate trek coils around glacier giants and rainbow valleys, far from crowds, deeper into myth. Snow crunches beneath your boots. The wind chants in Quechua. Alpacas glance, then vanish into high-altitude pastures. You pass hot springs, turquoise lakes, red mountains, and villages frozen in time. Nights fall with stars so close, you feel you could breathe them in. Here, altitude becomes attitude, quiet, humble, reverent. Each step takes you not only higher, but inward. Because in Oregon Gate, you don't conquer the mountain. You surrender to it. 7. Mana National Park, the Unseen Kingdom. Before the jungle roars, it listens. Deep in the Amazon basin, Mana waits untouched, an orchestra of life hidden beneath emerald canopies. There are no roads, only rivers that whisper secrets to those who float gently. Macaws burst like fireworks from the trees. Jaguars walk where no camera follows. You move through oxbow lakes and shadowed forest floors, eyes wide, senses stripped bare. The air is thick, alive, pulsing. This isn't just biodiversity, it's ancient intelligence, breathing through vines and wings. You are not the explorer here. You are the observed. 8. Paracas National Reserve, Earth meets Ocean. Where desert cliffs drop suddenly into a turquoise ocean, the Paracas Reserve begins. Windswept and elemental, it's a collision of opposites, sand and sea, silence and scream. You drive across ochre dunes to find flamingos wading in salt flats. Sea lions bellow from cathedral-like cliffs. Pelicans trace wind paths above crashing surf. Red beaches bleed into cobalt waters. This is where the land remembers it once belonged to the sea. And as the sun dips low and shadows stretch across cracked earth, you realize you're standing on the edge of something primordial. And it feels like truth. 9. Gokta Waterfall, the hidden giant. For centuries, the villagers never spoke of it, too sacred, too haunted. But Gokta could no longer stay secret. It falls in two mighty tiers, 771 meters down a cliff veiled in jungle breath. You trek through orchids and hummingbirds, guided by distant thunder. And then, it appears. A silver ribbon descending from clouds, unraveling into mist. Stand beneath it, and the roar is all there is. Time halts. Skin chills. It is not just water falling. It is the sky remembering how to weep. 10. Sorkante Pass, the spine of the gods. Before there were trains to Machu Picchu, there was Sorkante, raw, remote, relentless. A glacier-wrapped colossus whose flanks cradle lagoons and whose passes test the spirit. The air here is thin. Every breath is earned. You ascend into cloud-thick silence, past ice walls and stone cairns left as prayers. Then, at 4,600 meters, you cross the pass, and something changes. You are not above the world. You are within it. Cradled by sacred geography. The Sorkante doesn't ask for strength. It asks for stillness. And in return, it shows you heaven. 11. Cordillera Blanca, the shattered crown. Imagine the Andes wearing a crown of snow and light. That's the Cordillera Blanca, a jagged symphony of peaks, glacier, and high-altitude wonder. In Huascaran National Park, ice-blue lakes sleep beneath sawtooth ridges. Laguna 69 glows like sapphire fire. Trekking here is walking through sky and stone. Each peak feels sculpted by wind and worship. Mount Alpamayo, often called the world's most beautiful mountain, rises like a blade of pure serenity. And as the sun kisses these icy gods, painting their tips in flame, you realize Peru is not grounded in earth. It's tethered to the divine. From the jagged pulse of the Andes to the sacred hush of the Himalayas, the world breathes through its highest altars. Thousands of miles apart, yet stitched by the same sky. Peru whispers in Quechua, Nepal chants in Sanskrit, both echoing truths too old for language. You leave behind condas and coca leaves. and arrive where prayer flags flutter like breath on the wind. Where mountains don't just rise, they meditate. Welcome to Nepal, the land where the divine sleeps in stone and awakens in every footstep. One Everest base camp in the shadow of the giant. It begins with a heartbeat. Not yours, but the mountains. Everest doesn't shout. She looms, she waits, she listens. You trek through Khumbu's Sherpa villages, prayer wheels spinning in silent rhythm. Suspension bridges sway above turquoise rivers. Then, after days of wind, sweat, and altitude, you arrive. Base camp. At 5,364 meters, you are eye level with legends. The Khumbu icefall creaks like ancient bones shifting. You don't stand atop the world. But for one breathless moment, the world stands still for you. 2. Annapurna Circuit, the Circle of the Gods. It is not a trek. It's a 160-kilometer rite of passage. From lush rice terraces to snow deserts, the Annapurna Circuit unrolls like a hymn written in earth. You pass yak caravans, ancient mani walls, waterfalls that fall like blessings. And when you reach Thorong La Pass at 5,416 meters, prayer flags lash against sky. The air is thin, but your spirit swells. In every step, every vista, the Annapurna Range doesn't just show you beauty. It teaches you how to become it. Three. Gosaikunda Lake, Mirror of the Gods. High in Langtang, cradled between ridges of solitude, lies a lake so clear, it reflects more than clouds. Gosaikunda is sacred to Shiva, formed, they say, by his trident to quench cosmic thirst. You hike through pine forests and alpine meadows, past stone lodges etched by weather and prayer. And when you reach the lake, it is silence that greets you. Still. Icy. Infinite. The kind of silence that speaks louder than waterfalls. You kneel, not to pray, but to understand what it means to be small in the presence of wonder. 4. Sagarmatha National Park, where spirits walk. In Nepal, the mountains are not just peaks. They are sentient, sacred, alive. Sagarmatha, the Nepali name for Everest, means forehead of the sky. Here, rhododendron forests give way to glacial plains. Snow leopards prowl unseen. Himalayan tars leap along vertical cliffs. Every village has a chorten, every trail a story. And in the crisp morning light, when you hear monks chant from a distant monastery, you don't need translation. You already understand. Because here, everything is a prayer. 5. Poon Hill, the dawn that dances. You wake before the sun. Climb in the dark. The stars blink goodbye as you ascend Poon Hill's gentle rise. Then, light spills over the Dhaulagiri and Annapurna ranges. Gold touches snow. Pink breathes onto stone. The Himalayas don't just glow, they ignite. Around you, travelers gasp, some weep. But you remain still, letting it soak in. This is more than sunrise. It's a reminder. No matter how dark the climb, light always finds a way to rise. Six. Rara Lake, Nepal's hidden sapphire. Far from the trek trails, where maps grow quiet and phones lose signal, there lies Rara, Nepal's largest, least disturbed lake. A blue so deep it feels otherworldly. Surrounded by pine-covered ridges and snowy sentinels, Rara is a mirror to dreams. Boats glide like whispers, and the air smells of cedar and silence. Wild horses graze by its shores. There are no crowds, no chants, no summit flags. Only you, and the sky, floating in water. 7. Phoksundo Lake, the turquoise soul of Dolpo. In the mystical Dolpo region, where Tibetan culture weaves through every village, Phoksundo Lake shimmers like a sacred secret. Turquoise. Still. Sacred. Waterfalls thunder into it, yet the surface never ripples. It said no fish swim here, out of reverence. Hike past yak trails and Bon monasteries. And as the cliffs rise and the sky thins, you reach the lake. 1,000 prayer flags flutter in silence. Time kneels here. And so do you. 8. Manaslu Circuit, the trail less taken. Manaslu, a meaning mountain of the spirit, stands tall, unknown by fame but rich in soul. The circuit is raw, remote, real. Landslides carve paths, villagers greet you with eyes shaped by stories. The trails spiral around waterfalls, cliffs, glacier, as if nature itself is testing your reverence. At Lakia La Pass, ice bites your breath. But then, the panorama unfolds. An untouched world, grand and quiet. Like a secret only the wind was meant to tell. 9. Chitwan National Park, where jungles breathe. You trade snow for steam, heights for heartbeat. In Chitwan, the jungle is king. You drift through misty rivers in dugout canoes. As crocodiles sunbathe like statues and rhinos rumble through the brush. Elephants move with silent power. Bengal tigers watch from golden grass. This is not the Nepal of prayer of flags. This is the Nepal of pulse, fang, claw. And even in the wild, there is reverence. 10. Gokyo Rai, reflections above the clouds. Not far from Everest, but far from the crowds. Gokyo Rai is a summit for the soul. Lakes the color of glacier blood lie beneath peaks that scrape heaven. You ascend slowly, lungs burning. But then you reach the top, and the world becomes glass. Everest, Lhotse, Makalu, all mirrored in turquoise pools below. You don't take a photo. You take a breath. Because no image captures the way this moment holds you and never lets go. 11. Tengboche Monastery, the last word in silence. High in the Himalayas, perched between sky and eternity, Tengboche stands like a thought not yet spoken. Monks chant before dawn, their voices melting with wind. The peaks behind them, Everest, Amadablam, stand like watchful deities. You remove your shoes. Enter. Incense. Bells. Stillness. The monastery teaches without speaking. That stillness is not absence. It is presence, distilled. A mountain, in prayer. They are worlds apart, yet they speak the same language. Not of words, but of awe. Peru, where mountains whisper secrets in stone. And rivers carve memory into time. Nepal, where the sky bends to touch temples. And trails become pilgrimages for the soul. Both are altars. Both are invitations. To step beyond routine and into reverence. To remember that you are made of the same wild earth that shaped Machu Picchu's terraces and Everest's unforgiving crown. So ask yourself, where do you go to meet the parts of you you've forgotten? To the jungle depths of Chitwan or the cloud-wrapped cliffs of Choquequiraro? To the mirror lakes of Gosaikunda or the windswept salt of Salar de Uyuni? Wait, was that Peru or Nepal? Does it even matter? Because once you've walked where gods are born and mountains breathe, you no longer care about borders. Only beauty. Only silence. Only the feeling that the world, in all its rugged glory, just looked you in the eye and saw something worth remembering. Subscribe for more content like this, and better, for we grow every day. Also hit the like button and comment your favorite go-to country. Adios!